In the depths of the open ocean, where no national borders can keep order, only the might and vigilance of warships hold the peace. Recently, the British Royal Navy's aircraft carrier faced one of its most intense moments when it was encircled by a fleet of Russian warships. What followed was a standoff that shocked the world. Join us as we explore the unfolding of a high seas standoff where strategic moves, surprise maneuvers, and sheer will were all that stood between peace and an international incident. It all started in the northern waters off the coast of Europe, where the Royal Navy aircraft carrier had been conducting routine exercises. The carrier, a symbol of British military power, was accompanied by a small fleet of destroyers and support ships. But as it ventured further into the international waters, another force entered the scene. From the northern horizon, Russian naval vessels began to emerge one by one. Warships with powerful armaments and reconnaissance abilities took position around the British fleet, setting the stage for what could have been a dangerous escalation. The British crew knew they were being watched, but the sheer number of Russian vessels was enough to keep everyone on edge. And then, in an unexpected twist, the Russians made their move, closing in with tactical precision. One by one, Russian warships tightened their formation, establishing a perimeter around the British carrier. Communication lines between the two forces buzzed with radio messages in both English and Russian, as diplomats on shore scrambled to understand what was happening. Inside the Royal Navy's command center, officers monitored every move, from radar pings to signals intelligence. With the British carrier surrounded, the captain ordered his crew to remain on high alert. One wrong move could trigger a conflict neither side wanted. It was a tense and extraordinary moment in the Pacific Ocean. HMS Queen Elizabeth, the pride of the Royal Navy, suddenly found herself shadowed by a fleet of Russian warships in contested waters. It was both unexpected and could have had serious consequences for international relations. Today we'll dive into that dramatic encounter and unravel its implications. HMS Queen Elizabeth, the UK's flagship aircraft carrier, had been deployed to the Indo-Pacific as part of its ongoing mission to support freedom of navigation and demonstrate Britain's unwavering commitment to its global allies. This deployment was crucial, especially with rising tensions in strategic regions like the South China Sea. The deployment was not only a show of force, but also a strong message of support to Britain's key allies, including the US, Japan, and Australia. The mighty aircraft carrier was at the heart of a powerful carrier strike group equipped with state-of-the-art F-35B Lightning II fighter jets and an entire array of naval assets such as destroyers. The UK Ministry of Defense has revealed that the Royal Navy shadowed several Russian naval vessels, including a submarine traversing the English Channel during the past week. This operation occurred amid heightened geopolitical tensions between the UK and Russia and was outlined in a Ministry of Defense (MOD) press release on September 13th. The MOD reported that over 6 days, the Royal Navy shadowed 4 Russian naval ships, including a Kilo-class submarine, the Novorossiysk, and its support vessel, the Evgeny Churov. This surveillance was part of a coordinated effort involving NATO allies, starting with the Canadian warship HMCS Shawinigan, which initially escorted the Russian vessels from the Baltic Sea across the North Sea. Upon nearing the Dover Strait, responsibility for the operation transitioned from the Canadian patrol ship to the Portsmouth-based frigate HMS Iron Duke. Utilizing its advanced sensors and the Wildcat helicopter from 815 Naval Air Squadron, HMS Iron Duke maintained a constant watch on the Russian submarine and its support ship. The MOD explained that the submarine remained on the surface throughout the operation, which facilitated the Royal Navy's monitoring efforts. Following the Russian vessel's departure from UK waters, HMS Iron Duke transferred its shadowing duties to the French Navy. The French frigate FS Auvergne took over the operation off the northwest coast of France. The HMS Iron Duke then returned to the North Sea to oversee a new Russian group, which included the Staragushchi-class corvette Stoichi and the tanker MT Yaz. The Belgian Navy's patrol vessel, BNS Castor, had first tracked these vessels before HMS Iron Duke took charge. Subsequently, the Royal Navy's HMS Tyne assumed monitoring responsibilities off northwestern France. Throughout these operations, the Russian warships and their support vessels were closely watched to ensure they adhered to international laws, specifically the right of innocent passage through UK waters, according to the UK. The MOD explained that such movements were legally permissible. The Russian warships and their support vessels were closely monitored by UK forces to make sure they acted in a safe and non-threatening manner, added the Ministry of Defense. Commanding officer of HMS Iron Duke, Commander David Armstrong, said, "These were the fourth and fifth such operations for HMS Iron Duke since we emerged from a period of intense training in July, and I am extremely proud of the professionalism and selfless dedication that my ship's company consistently display as they perform their duty. Over vast areas of waters, ensuring the safety of these waters is also of the utmost importance for HMS Queen Elizabeth and her allies. However, this mission has also attracted significant attention and tension from rival forces. China's response to the deployment of HMS Queen Elizabeth and other Western naval forces in the Indo-Pacific was swift and assertive over the past few months. China has increased its naval operations, conducting large-scale military exercises in the South China Sea. These exercises were designed to showcase. Just as quickly as it had started, the standoff ended. It was a tactical retreat, a show of respect, a move that kept peace on the high seas. But it also sent a message. Russia was watching, and it wanted the world to know it. The situation underscored a new reality on the world stage. As military technology advances and global tensions rise, so does the potential for such incidents. Both the British and Russian navies proved their restraint, but the balance of power on the seas remains as fragile as ever. This encounter between the British Royal Navy and Russian naval forces serves as a reminder of the delicate line between power and peace. As military strength grows, so does the responsibility of wielding it wisely. Stay tuned to our channel for more in-depth stories from around the world, where the actions of a few impact us all.